Good morning, family. Welcome to today's Lessons for Life. Today is Tuesday, October 13th, 2009, and today we're reading in 2 Chronicles Chapter 12, and there's a couple of different things we can get from this chapter, so as always, I encourage you to read it for yourself and email us, and we'll put it on the blog. But we see here King Rehoboam, and it says that he fortified his. We even talked about it yesterday, where he strengthened himself. He dispersed his sons, and he kind of strengthened himself, even the cities around where he was at. But once he did that, then he forgot about the Lord again. So we see another example of I guess things going well, and then the king forgetting and turns back on the Lord. But that's one lesson, of course, you can get something from. Once you get something, you don't want to then turn your back on where it came from. But then even further, then we see an example of the Lord's mercy, because even though he was going to destroy them, because they kind of repented, then he just made them to be subject to someone else. So we see an example even in this chapter of the Lord's mercy. But down towards the end is where I want to bring up for Lessons for Life, and it says that he did evil again because he didn't prepare his heart to seek the Lord. And that kind of stood out to me, because it shows, or it teaches us, that for us to seek the Lord, it's not just something that's a simple thing. He was to prepare his heart, so it took preparation in order to seek the Lord. So there is some work that's involved with it. You can't just expect that it's going to just be a natural thing, but it takes some work to, it's like if you're in a relationship with another person. It takes work to keep that relationship strong, keep that relationship going. If you're just there and you're not doing anything, then eventually, you know what happens? That relationship is going to weaken and keep weakening. So it takes work in order to keep that relationship going strong. So in the same thing with us, with our relationship with the Lord, it's not once you establish, you might have a great relationship right now with the Lord, or you feel you do, and then you kind of stop doing the things, or you stop doing the work that is required, and then you'll see that relationship is going to weaken. So it took work, even as we see in this chapter, that he had to prepare his heart to seek the Lord. So we need to prepare ourselves, and we need to put in the work and the time and the effort in order to have that relationship with the Lord. So that's what I wanted to share with you for today's Lesson for Life. Like I said, there's a couple of things we can get from this chapter. But with that, create yourself a wonderfully blessed day today, and we'll talk again tomorrow.